Okay, so since we're still not sure if the camera's working, I'm going to not talk about the next verse, but continue on some miscellaneous topics. So I was thinking this morning a little bit about joyous effort and how important it is, and how effort is one thing, but joyous effort is another thing. Okay? Some people, in fact, translate the term sundru, instead of as joyous effort, as enthusiasm. In other words, the mind is enthusiastic, it's delighted, you're in a good mood, you're eager, you're ready to go, you feel happy with what you're doing, you feel satisfied after you've done it, you feel like you've created virtue and you have something to dedicate, and you're happy to keep going, and you know how to pace yourself and when to rest. So it's a really important mind, for Dharma practice and just for regular life practice. And so I was thinking, sometimes the one word that you hear sometimes in modern society a lot is people say, I'm overwhelmed. Do you hear that a lot? Sometimes we even say it, don't we? I'm overwhelmed. And I was asking myself, well, what does overwhelmed mean? We say it a lot. We seem to think we know what we mean by it. But what actually does feeling overwhelmed mean? And what is this feeling of feeling overwhelmed? Where does it come from? Is it the situation that is overwhelming? Is it our mind saying, I feel overwhelmed? Because I know for myself, as soon as I use the word overwhelmed and say, I feel overwhelmed, then everything changes. Before I give that label, before I say that sentence, there's one thing happening. As soon as I say, I feel overwhelmed, the whole paradigm shifts to, I'm overwhelmed. It's too much. Don't ask anything more from me. I can't do it. Stop pushing. This is just too much, and leave me alone. Thank you very much. And I feel like it's all coming from outside at me, and I've got to stand my ground that I am overwhelmed. So I have plenty of energy to stand my ground that I'm overwhelmed. Plenty of energy for that. But no energy to do what it is that I feel overwhelmed by. Isn't that interesting? Yeah, I don't know if you guys are like that. But this is what, I watch my mind. That's what, there's energy to dig in my heels and have it. There's plenty of energy for a pity party. Because a pity party takes energy, it doesn't just happen by itself, and then plenty, it's, I'm overwhelmed, leave me alone, don't ask me to do this. Plenty of energy for that. No energy to do whatever it is that somebody's, or maybe nobody's asking me, but I think that they are. Yeah? So it's a very interesting state of mind, Sometimes we use these words in our normal language, and we think we know what we mean, but to really stop and say, what do I mean by this? Yeah? And, when I say I'm overwhelmed, what actually is going on? And dissect it a little bit, observe it a little bit. It's quite interesting. I remember a few years ago, and when we had EML, we had a discussion about the phrase, I need my own space. Because that's another one you hear so much, don't you? I need my own space. Yeah, this is too much. Give me space. Yeah, my own space. And we had a fascinating discussion about what does that mean? When we say, I need my own space, what does it mean? Does it mean a physical space? Does it mean a mental space? Can somebody else give us mental space, or do we need to give ourselves mental space? And what is this space anyway? Yeah? We want this space, my space, but what is it? Yeah. So I find these kinds of things very interesting just to reflect on, because it helps me understand my mind better, and to see how I use certain words and tell myself something, and when I use those words and tell myself that, how I change the whole experience. It's not coming from outside, it's the words I use to describe it. Yeah. So to think about that and how that relates to joyous effort, and what are the words you use to describe your situation when you have joyous effort? Yeah. Because you can have one situation, one person feels overwhelmed, another person needs their own space, and another person has joyous effort. So it's not the situation. So what do these terms mean? What are we referring to? And what causes those different states of mind in us? So something to research a little bit. But now I'm overwhelmed by it all, and I need some space to turn off that.